is. There it is.
Okay. And I always like checking a page just to make sure we're streaming where it says we are. Okay. Good morning, everyone. There we go. Okay. Terrific. Happy Saturday, everyone. I'm so happy to be here with filling in for Laura as she's on her well-deserved holiday with family in South Africa. Some of you may have seen on her page that she got to go see the site where Spirit, the Spirit was a jaguar, if I'm not mistaken, was. And so you can go catch up on her travels there. So good morning. My name is Daniela, and I'm so happy to be here with the collective and to have a chat with you all and with a dear soul, dear friend, Nan Fairchild. Good morning, Nan.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm great. We were just before we went live. I said, hey, is there anything you want to chat about today that is top of mind? And Nan launched in and I said, pause, let's live stream and go. So we'll go back to that moment. Let's rewind. Yeah. Nan went outside this morning and?
Well, I'll start. So I went out because the last 2 days have been so beautiful here in upstate New York. We've had high 50-degree weather, and that's just such a beautiful, nice reprieve in the middle of winter, correct? And so the last 2 days I've been feeling like super privileged because I've been able to sit out on the deck, absorb the light beams. And I think that's super important at this moment because the level of solar flares that we're receiving here on this planet, as well as it being a new moon, felt super important to me. And being able to not only be affected by them, because as an empathic medium, our fields are affected by a lot of unseen things, right? And so I sat out in the light beams this morning and just was absorbing them. And I kind of felt like if you didn't have anything else that you wanted to really talk about kind of like instantly, I thought maybe we could talk about how best to utilize the energy that's coming in rather than being just at the mercy of it. A lot of conversations lately, the last week has been about, oh my gosh, I feel this or that. And I'm getting bowled over by it. And my life is really affected by it. And, that's so easy to experience when you don't even know that maybe these are the light codes that are coming in, right? So I thought maybe we could start by having a little chat.
I would love that. I think that, and we can rewind a little bit because there may be friends joining us here since we're streaming in on YouTube and at Soul Apprentice and in Laura's Astral Explorations page that they may have heard that term, light codes, and maybe you could share a little bit about what they actually are. And what, and I just want to say good morning to Christina and Michelle and Patty and Zeke and Lynn. Hi, Dolly. Good morning. Hi, Christopher. Hi, Bree. Good morning, everyone. Hi, Rhea. I hope you all have some tea. And Nan is just one of my favorite people to chat with. I don't get to chat with her enough. So here we are. We had to do a podcast together so we could connect.
Here we are.
Okay, so back to you. Tell us about codes.
So this is an unfurling process for me with the light codes because it's taken me a little while to understand what was going on. So it started for me with ringing in my ears. And then as human time would unravel, I would realize that there was a correlation between this ringing in my ears as well as what would unfold as time opened up, correct? And so I started channeling some of the energy, and I would just ask, like, whatever that ringing in my ear was, could I have some conscious recognition of what that meant specifically for my own channel and how I might best harness and integrate it in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, what I realized was the codes were coming into me as almost instructional answers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was communication. It's really, honestly, to me, the light codes are direct communication with source.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows up to me in clairaudience, and it shows up for me in clairvoyancy, as well as frequency. And so it's interesting because as frequency comes in, your body brings it in and metabolizes it down through your column. And it comes down through your chakras, and then you start to have lived experience, right? And for me, I don't know about anybody else, but it's been particularly interesting and at times challenging to be able to bring in form and then put into verbal words exactly what's going on. And yet I've been tasked with that to a degree. And so today, when I was sitting out in the light and receiving these codes, I was seeing a lot of visuals and receiving a lot of heat. And the message that I received today through, you know, bringing in the codes for me was really just asking people to not only experience the effects of it, but to really hold a space within yourself internally so that those codes can then go into inform and information, and we might be able to bring them in. So there, to me, a light code is a bridge. It's a bridge between the invisible to the visible. And how they show up for people are, in my experience, vastly different. How we experience what we receive.
Nan Bree says in the comments, it feels like pictures. Also, if you click comments in the upper right, you can see the comment thread too. I apologize for not mentioning that. Let me know if you see that little button.
I can see them, but I'm going to be very vulnerable and blatantly honest. If I'm paying attention to the comments, which I'll do my best.
No. I'll do that. I just wanted you to know that you can see them. I'll hold the fort there.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I just.
Bree says the light codes feel like pictures and words that don't match. I thought that was really insightful.
Okay, yeah. That's interesting for me when I think about that, because sometimes when I receive them, Bree, I will receive almost a right brain image where I receive the whole visual field and none of the details make sense to me. Or vice versa. Sometimes I will receive a detailed image and not be able to see the whole picture. So that's how reading your comment comes to my mind. And so sometimes the feelings that come along with it also don't sometimes make sense, because my brain is trying to ration it, take portions and pieces of it, and only use that piece. And it's really being able to bring the energy down and to keep bringing it down and allow the assimilation process through the various chakras in order to get a whole picture that does start to make sense. I know that time is elusive and illusionary, and yet we live in a 3D realm. And so we still need time to process those pieces to get a whole picture that flows and makes sense. Danielle, if you don't mind, can I use our reading that we had?
You can use anything. You can use anything. I pulled up my human design if you wanted to use my chart, not a request, and you're welcome to. Use me as your squirrely guinea pig.
Yeah. So one of the things that happened with Danielle and I was we were doing a reading together, and a lot of the pieces didn't make sense. So this is just an example. And like Daniela was like, not really sure, but we'll hold it in space and time, right? Because something may show up at a later date that ties all the pieces together. And so we were talking about potatoes. We were talking about a certain place and date and time and potatoes. And we are like, we'll just table that for a little bit, right? And then we went on and we were having a conversation, and I'm still receiving this information. And later on in conversation, as time unfurled, like Daniela starts talking about tater tots and little bits of wisdom, right? And we were cracking up laughing because what didn't make sense in that space and time, in the continuum of it, made perfect sense. And so I'm going to say, Bree, that if it doesn't feel like it makes sense initially, table it, hold on to it for a later date, because as we go into the continuum, this beautiful picture starts to emerge. And it really actually helps you hone into your own gifts and your own, your own light that you bring in. We're not separate from that light. It's just adding to ours as we're in 3D form.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Patty's asking if you close your eyes when you sit outside to absorb light codes, or do you look toward the light from the sun? And good morning, Lisa and Mary.
Good morning. Thanks for asking, Patty. I do both. I don't ever look directly at the sun, to be honest with you. I soften my gaze. I distort it. And so that way I'm not, our eyes take in information in certain ways. And so when I soften my gaze and I distort it, I'm really giving my body a signal that I'm open to receive, rather than, focusing in on detail oriented, like the trees and so I do close my eyes and I receive codes that way as well. I see a lot of visuals, and I also see it in water, to be honest with you. The water is a great medium and holds the secrets to everything, really. Water's been here, or, we are water. So,
yeah. And experimenting too, right? I mean, the more we can approach the living moment with the beginner's mind. I really love the gorgeousness of the beginner's mind, because the beginner's mind is a complete, open, flexible chalice. And with the open mind, the mind can be the gatekeeper of closing something off from even then becoming embodied, so we can explore the direct experience. So approaching anything with a curious, open mind, like a child would, let's see what happens when I sit and receive the light rays, right? Let's see. I wonder, ... is such a great inner posture.
I love that, Daniela, because I have received so much from, I have a wandering if journal. I'm wondering if this, and it unfurls. Like it unfurls, and, wisdom and knowledge are really great tools. But if you go in with thinking you hold knowledge, and you do, your body retains, but it's stored experience. And so when we get out of knowledge and wisdom and we go into the beginner's mind and that childlike energy, we are in full creative form, and we receive so much from just being a blank slate, right? You can't fill up a full table. You can't.
No. And I spent years early on in my 20s, reading and learning about other people's way of experiencing the chakras, for example.
Yes.
And I always felt like I'm like, well, I guess I'm just a spiritual loser. Like, I don't feel like I guess this isn't for me. I didn't experience it the way people described it consistently in the same way, these spinning discs of colored light. Like, it was a very different embodied experience.
Yes.
So until I connected to what my direct experience was, and it requires steady self-effort exploring and testing. It's not just sitting once and it's like, I didn't get anything, so I guess I'm not a recipient, right? It's like,
Exactly.
it's that steady self-effort, just like medicine oftentimes works as a cumulative
Yep.
repeated effect. So give yourself time. Anything that is you're feeling enthusiasm around, friends, to explore it over time consistently.
Yeah.
Like
You
a
know,
scientist.
Danielle, whoops, sorry.
Okay, really like the way a scientist approaches, exploration and inner exploration.
Yeah. I really love, I'm going to bring human design into this just a smidgen at the
Mhm.
moment, because I'll tell you what I have found and fallen in love with. So human design is known as the science and art. Interesting, right? Dichotomy here, of differentiation.
Mm.
And I love that, because just like you experienced, thinking I'm a spiritual loser, and, like, this is not what's happening, and seeking, like, I cannot tell you the amount of time that I spent seeking, and walking away from that seeking so disappointed and feeling like I am just an oddity. Nobody understands me. Why do they not know what I'm talking about? Like, am I making this up? Like, am I crazy? Like, you could go on, right? And I will never forget the first time, and I'm going to tie this back into differentiation in just a moment.
Mhm.
The first time my daughter, so I have 3 adult children, and my youngest is now 26. And I remember walking her into kindergarten, and my whole life had been around my children and had been around doing daycare and working with kids, right, at that time, and bringing spiritual concepts with these kids. And they were teaching me, and I'm teaching them. And I walked into my house, and I remember saying to Spirit, I'm really frustrated right now. You told me I was meant to work with the children, and I don't understand what is going on. And I'll never forget this, because my curtain started swaying a little bit. No one's home. The sound of silence is deafening if you've not been in silence, right? I'm in silence, and it's so loud, and my curtains are swaying, and I heard Spirit say to me, but Nancy, we're all children of the universe. And I will never forget that, because it allowed the differentiation of who we all are to just be beautiful children of the universe. And we didn't have to know. We don't have to have definition and delineation, right? And so what that did for me was allowed me to start listening to me. I came here, speaking of light codes, I have come here with all the coding and information I need, not only from this lifetime, but from many. And I can jump those timelines. We can call in that information. It is never lost. It is always present, always, and always present. Like, it's there, right? And so the art and differentiation of, our human design body graphs, these are codes. These are our codes written inside of us that we have been bringing forth, that we each have a beautiful, unique frequency that is needed right here, right now. And I am passionate about telling people how important they are right here, right now. Not just their body, but all their bodies. All bodies are important right now. This is what we're encompassing. This is what we're bringing in. This is what we're expanding into, as well as decompressing, right? The conditioning, we're done with that. We are moving into a time where this light is us. We are the light. Hue, a hue is a being, it's a light. We're beings of light, and like, it's just time. I get very passionate. I'm sorry.
What? No, sorry. This is enthusiasm is the best, and that's the whole journey. It is not easy, and it is this simple. Is that there are wonderful educators and guides that can help us to understand how we uniquely experience and feel the
Feel.
frequency that we are. So this ties into Lisa's question about how to quickly raise your vibration to a higher frequency. And that is going to be a very unique path to each individual. There isn't a one size fits all. Our
100%.
journey is a one size fits one. And this is where everything from working with Kaya, if that feels like a fit, doing human design work with Nan is a fit, learning about Enneagram. There are so many pathways for you. And always the key is your enjoyment, your enthusiasm, what brings you the sensations of
Right.
delight. So, Nan,
Yes.
maybe you can talk about human design, one's unique human design
Mhm.
as a way to sort of efficiently help you along your journey,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely. And honestly, that's exactly it, efficient. Excuse me. So human design is based on your birth date, your birth location, and your birth time. Time, location, and date. Sorry, that's the best way. And so what that is saying when your soul decided to come through the neutrino field, which is a bunch of galactic stardust, right? We're coming through this galactic stardust, and it's our souls picking up these codes.
Mm-hmm.
And what we do is we come in onto the planet. And so human design, what it does is gives us our unconscious and our conscious personality and our soul purpose. Okay. And so what it does is our soul purpose is our unconscious, and we come in with these codes that we don't have total access to. If somebody were to talk to me and say, "Hey, Nan, I recognize that you do this," I may not recognize it because it's on my unconscious side of the chart.
Mm.
However, it doesn't mean that that's not what I'm working towards to experience, right? So when you take these two pieces, what we have is a graph. Daniela, you said you had yours recently.
I just sent mine to you on Messenger, and I do not know how to screen share yet.
All right, give
So
me a second.
my apologies, friends.
No,
Otherwise,
that's okay.
and we have friends in the comments that are saying, "I looked up my human design chart, and now what?" Right?
Beautiful. Well, now what? On February 22nd, please come join us because I'm going to jump out of here for just a minute. I was on your chart. On February 22nd, I feel like we're all going to be really blessed with something very cool. So, my mentor, Karen Curry Parker, she had the total blessings of studying with Ra Uru, who channeled what was known as the voice, which was the stream of consciousness that channeled all of these ancient wisdoms together and showed them how it all worked. And so Karen was very blessed to have worked and studied with Ra. And one of the things that happened with Ra was when he was teaching human design, he was in referencing to the conditioning patterns that we come into. We have epigenetics, we have open centers in our chart, we have people, places, and things teaching us all sorts of things, right? That we hold as truth, even if they're not resonant. And so we've got all these different things. So long story short, Ra taught and spoke to what he called the not self, the conditioned masks of who we are. And he was leading into the self, the authentic self of unconditioned energy, our origination energy that we come onto this planet with. Okay. And so Karen felt the call to move forward with Ra's work and to take and dedicate her whole life's work to teaching people how not only to have a chart, which is a bunch of formulas, but to take this chart, bring it into expression, and live it. And live it. And so it's been so interesting because her work, she just got her doctorate's degree. And I am so proud because I've had the good fortune of watching her take her chart and just rock this thing, right? Giving me the courage to step forward and rock this thing, right? And so what she has done is her message is to take your energy information, meaning her work has proven that whatever you put meaning to becomes real, period. Whatever meaning. So if I were to say, example, bring up the word money, all of us have 1,000 different things that come up in our field about money, right? Based on conditioning, open centers, our own. So going back to answer the question, how can we utilize it fast? The meaning, whatever meaning you're putting to that word money is creating your experience right now. The interface between us and the universe is listening, the creative field is listening, and whatever meaning you put onto the universe, you're going to get in real life experience. And so Karen teaches human design. Well, not just Karen, many, many, many people, but I say Karen because I study with Karen. Has been really designing spaces, communities, because we are the light bringers. And when we access this meaning, this differentiated meaning, for me, the differential has been so important. This differentiated meaning, we're creating the grid work. Our grid lines are rising. We're creating our own individual universes, which is part of a bigger biosphere, and then bigger and bigger. And that's how we do it fast. That's how you do it fast. Now, with that being said, welcome to the rabbit hole, because human design has so many ways, because it's all about differentiation. There's 1,000 differentiations to get like, oh, I want to go here and I want to learn this and I want to do that and I want to, and so I'm gonna just put a little disclaimer out here. Make sure to get the best and most I lost my word. It just went flying out. Did you see that? The most accurate and best fast change possible is get into your own chart first. Pay attention to your own chart first, because it's going to show you where you're conditioned. It's going to show you where you want to go. It's going to show you how to get there. It's a beautiful design map for you.
And this is one of your offerings that you share with your clients one-on-one is, right? They have their chart and you look at it and I'm just like, oh, I found human design some years ago. And I'm like, this is really beautiful. And the depth I went into was only in understanding manifesting generator a bit. The rest is very mysterious to me. Even that, knowing the difference of my friends and and my family members, knowing I have 2 projector children, I have a generator partner, my bestie's a projector. I'm surrounded by projectors.
Yeah, I am too.
This person that was very unique and intense in my life, reflector. So and manifestors have a very, and that's not even going into the rest of the chart. Just that.
Yeah.
Was so illuminating for me.
Yeah. So I'm really glad that you brought that up, Daniela, because here's the thing. If somebody had their chart, and we're going to go real quick right here, right now, I'm going to tell you, if you can get these components right here today, this is how fast you're going to change your world. Okay. So there are really only 4 energy types in human design, but there is a 5th one that combines 2 of the energy types. So they are manifestors, they are generators, they're reflectors and projectors, and then there's manifesting generators, okay? So there's the 5 energy types. Now, the next thing after learning your energy type is strategy and authority. If you take these 2 things, strategy and authority, and you start applying this into your world today, you are going to start changing your world. Okay. So strategy is quite what it says. It shows you what to do to connect to your authority in your chart. Okay. So I'm going to use, I'm going to try to find Daniela's because for some, oh, there we go. Okay.
And I just shared the link in the chat for everyone, the jovianarchive.com,
Yeah.
if they wanted to get a free.
Yeah. Jovian Archive is great for, they work the International Human Design School. They completely have Roz material. Then there's Genetic Matrix, there's Body Graph, and they have, check them all out because they all offer beautiful different pieces that you really want to like play in. Okay. And you can get a free chart there anywheres.
And then somebody, if this really resonates with you, they could connect with you, and we'll share how to connect with Nan one-on-one, and you can do all the things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So here's the thing. So I want to go back to your energy type, strategy, and authority because somebody asked the question, how can we change it quick? This is how you can change it quick. Mm-hmm. It is not going to be easy, but it's simple. I just want to put that out there, okay? Because you're going to get a taste, and if it's calling you, you're going to get a taste, you're going to want to run. Don't do that. The strategy, everybody in a strategy has the word wait, okay? In a generator, wait to respond. In a projector, wait for the invitation. For a manifesting generator, wait, but inform, because you're going to go move with your energy in your creative process. You're not going to want to wait. Matter of fact, Daniela, I got a quick question. You're a manifesting generator. Do you find it hard to A, wait, and B, to inform?
Yes.
Does informing feel like you're asking for permission?
It feels like it's where it taps into frustration.
Yes.
It's like, oh, I have to go through the whole informing thing.
Yes. Manifesting generators love to move fast. But they also circle back around. They drop lots of things in that moving fast. And they circle around and pick them all back up. So the reason why I asked Danielle that is I'm using her as my live example. Mm-hmm. So when a manifesting generator spins around and they're in their creative process. And to actually stop and inform somebody is painful for them. It's like hitting a brick wall. It stops their whole creative process. And then they're like frustrated and even somewhat angry because it's painful. Mm-hmm. It's painful to hit a creative wall, right? Mm-hmm. Now, the challenge of a manifesting generator and the lesson to be learned about it waiting and informing is that people can A, get the hell out of their way, or B, they can help them along that creative process and it can go so much smoother. And so I just use that as an example on how type works for somebody, right? So the vast energy difference between a manifesting generator and a projector, okay? So a manifesting generator has an energy column that's attached to motors that makes them have energy that they generate on their own, okay? So a person who's a projector, I think there's somebody in there that said that they are a generator or a projector and didn't really understand projector work. So I'm going to use a projector for a moment. Now, a projector in their channels, they're not hooked up to the motors in their centers. So they have a limited, sustainable amount of energy that they produce themselves, and then they don't have it anymore. So their strategy is to wait for the invitation. And so why that works for them is because they're not using up energy on incorrect invites. And so say, all right, so my husband, I'm going to use him because he's a projector. He has limited energy. He works a full-time job. He comes home, he's exhausted. So what little bit of energy that he has left, if he's not waiting for the correct invitation, he may use up that energy and not have it. And then the next thing you know, he's a musician. He gets the most beautiful beautiful opportunity to go play with the most beautiful, players that he don't have energy to do it because he didn't listen and he waited. He didn't wait.
Mm.
So those are just examples of energy type, okay? Why it's so important. So strategies and authorities give us how we can best use our energy type quick, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's annoying to wait to respond. That's mine. I'm a generator. I have to wait to respond. Here's something else that I used to find annoying. I'm an emotional generator, which means that I have this energy that I can just tap right into. I have a yes no machine inside my body that instantly knows yes or no for me. Okay. However, because I have an emotional authority, and authority is a component of your strategy, it's a secondary one. What happens with that is being an emotional authority, I have to ride my emotional waves. And boy, am I emotional. I am all water. So I have to ride this emotional wave. I have to take a sampling of yes, no questions throughout that wave. I'm never going to get true clarity. I'm never going to have crystal clarity. What I am going to have is 70 to 80% clarity that says over the sampling of asking my authority, yes, no questions, what is true and right for me, what direction and action is right for me. So what happens with this is it gives you divine timing. It gives you a direct line to divine timing. It gives you a direct line to right people, places, and things, right environments, right situations. And I don't know about you, but I have spent a lot of frustrated time in wrong timing, wrong environments, people that are great people, but not for me. And so strategy and authority will align you straight and fast to what is for you. It will differentiate what is right for you. And so that takes away the clumping of everybody, right? We're going to go into a classroom. Everybody's going to, no, it's going to differentiate you and you're going to shine the way you're meant to shine. Like you're going to be radiant. I'm sorry, I'm getting over a cold still. I had this virus for like 2 months almost, and it just would not go away. But it's powerful. I'm in love, and it's powerful because it has changed my life around. I'll give one more example of a personal example. My husband is a projector. I am a generator. We used to fight like cats and dogs. We were married for 14 years. We separated for 5. And when I learned human design, the universe had us come back around. We had unfinished karmic relationships to heal and mend. And when I learned he was a projector, now I'm embarrassed because this is some of my conditioning, but I'm going to be vulnerable. I used to think my husband was this lazy slug. He'd go to work, he'd come home, and he'd be exhausted. And I'm like, what is wrong with him? Because I'm a generator. Picture a generator, a power generator, and I'm going, never stopping, right? He was so angry with me, like all the time, bitter, like angry. And I'm frustrated, like, why is he lazy? And we'd fight, like, just stop being lazy, and we'd fight. And that ultimately was the breakdown of a very important relationship. And I left, he left, he was angry and bitter, and I'm frustrated. And then as the world would have it, we weren't done because we had karmic ties. And it's even in our charts, we've got these ties, right? And so we come back around, and it's to heal our relationship. So we were growing. We're meant to grow. We're meant to grow together, and we're meant to grow apart. And we're meant to have our profile lines are 1-3. The 3 line is about bonds made and bonds broken. We both have that line. Bonds made, bonds broken. If we didn't know this about ourselves, imagine the conditioning of society. Oh, you should never get back with somebody you've been married to once. Didn't work out, I'll never work out. Like all these things, right? Human design for me has been life-giving and nothing but. Nothing but.
Mm.
People around me, for lives. I mean, the relationship I have with my grandbabies and knowing who they are and like being able to help them unfurl into their magnificence. That's the greatest role you can play on this earth, is to be there for somebody as they unfurl in their magnificence. I just, I can't get enough of that.
Yeah, it's an incredible map, and for me, it's a complete package. The combination of human design, Enneagram, and your knowing your Ayurvedic constitution, between those three, minimally. And Christina, I'm with you. Why isn't this in school? Like, when I work with my clients at the end of their self-reflective inventory, it's now do your human design, do this test for your Ayurvedic constitution, and find your Enneagram type. And that,
Working on that.
yes, and oh, it's life changing.
Yes. And we are working in human design and getting it in schools and creating schools. I just want to put that out there.
Oh, that is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Can you speak to some of the the strengths of being a projector? I mean, I have a long list of them because many of the people that are in my inner circle, my children, my best friend, are all projectors, and I love projectors. And projectors are, if I'm not mistaken, about 20% of the population.
Yeah, they're rare.
And then manifestors are more like the 10-ish%.
Yeah, the projectors are rare energy. And I apologize. I just saw somebody's comment, but I did not catch who the name was. Somebody said, you're making it sound like projectors are a bad thing. Is there anything good? And I apologize that I do not know who said that, because
it's Jordan. That's okay. That's the question we're answering right now. Let's share.
Yes, Jordan. I do want to address that. I did see it. And I apologize. I am not... projectors are the most beautiful energies. They are here to guide the grid work of this whole planet. The reason why they're always exhausted is because they're even working the grid lines in their sleep. Like, they are beautiful beings. I apologize if I put it in the conditioning form of a projector. I just wanted to give it as an example of how we can change people's lives by knowing what our energy types were. I apologize. I didn't mean to put that out there. So thank you for bringing that up. Projectors are amazing. They are the grid workers of the whole earth, even farther out than the earth, but we'll keep it into earth conversation at the moment. They are bringing the light code. They are bringing the work. They are doing the work. They are here to guide. And so, like, they got the information. They know. They're beautiful. They're not meant to be workers. They're meant to be guides. They are meant to just be guiding in their energy. So their energy field is big and like around them. They're big. It's big. And then it tunnels down like an auger. And that is because they tunnel right into this information, right into the grid work, so that they can guide you right to the pinpoint of what you need. They are beautiful, magnificent beings. Yeah.
And they have a unique way. My more limited understanding of human design is that I remember reading, I think it was through Ra's work, that the projectors, it's a loose paraphrase quote, are the types that really are the ones that have access to reality. They're the ones of all the types that are going to most know what's really going on.
Yes.
And they have and what can also be very fatiguing, and I see this with my children and with Abby won't mind my sharing, she's a projector, is that in order to experience life, it's almost like the way an insect drinks nectar. The projectors have to taste everything and digest it. So they being very conscious of the company they keep, because they're always experiencing their world and the people by actually ingesting others' energy, which is like, if you taste in bad energy, it's like, whoa, and exhausting.
And they know. A projector absolutely, positively knows whether the energy is of lowest expression or of highest expression or anywhere's in between the spiral of it. They absolutely know. So if a projector is saying, do not, even if your energy type is like, I don't want to listen, spot on. Unless there's conditioning involved, because there is painful conditioning that comes with knowing, right? And projectors have really been conditioned to not be seen, not be heard. Can you imagine having the power of changing the grid lines of this world and being conditioned that children are to be seen and not heard? Like the conditioning, and they have been so, I mean, they're the newest energy type on this planet. And so they're new souls, right? And to some degree, they're not replacing the manifestors, because the manifestors are builders, right? They do the work, they bring the information in, and they inform the, and so they're replacing some of this energy to build into the new world, which in human design, 2027 is a beautiful world coming. And, that's what they're here to do, is to bring that grid work to this point in place in time. They're grid workers. They're putting specific energy at specific places in specific time to create the rising so that we all may move forward with it. Beautiful protectors. Beautiful. You probably hear my interesting point on projectors at the moment, only because I'll tell you, I have been attracting them right and left, but I've been attracting conditioned, bitter projectors because they don't know their beauty yet. And I don't know if you've ever been poked by 15 projectors around you and it's like porcupine quills. I was like, listen, let's do something nice today. Like, let's do something nice today. And so I apologize that energy, see, I accelerate energy. And because I accelerate it, you're picking up my field. But that whole energy is beautiful. It truly is. It's not beautiful when they've been conditioned into so much pain. I truly, truly feel so much compassion to the conditioned energy types. I feel it. That's my work. I'm a bridge worker. I bridge, okay, we've been here, we're going to bridge it to here. I see unused potential. I see how it is meant to be used, and we're going to tap into that, and we're going to be unapologetic about it. We are going to use it. We're going to tap it, and we're going to work towards the self-worth and your value. And so when you hear me kind of talking about maybe the gray shades of a type, that's because I walk those lines. I walk those lines. I say, come from here and let's go here. I am a bridge walker. I use blue jay energy all the time. I walk both sides. I walk two-footed.
I love blue jays.
I do too.
I watched one the other day. I don't know. I was on the phone with Laura, and she was talking through seeking some insight and solution to something, to X. And at that moment, Hawk comes swooping in to this big, huge pine tree that's right out my window. And Blue Jay was trying to catch a Blue Jay. And Blue Jay was so skillfully weaving in and around the branches of the pine tree that the hawk was getting all stuck in it. It was such, I was like, oh, go Blue Jay. I'm always rooting for the Blue Jay.
I'm telling you. And they're unapologetic. And when we are raising the energy, you best be unapologetic, right?
Yes, and that vignette, that little scene, that event gave, right, this is the beauty of when we ask for insight, either sometimes go in, and sometimes it's being reflected back to you in the apparent outer world for the wisdom,
viewing pleasure.
Exactly. It was showing it like, it outsmarted it. It worked with all of its faculties, its size, the terrain. It just worked. That Blue Jay worked what was completely. and outwitted it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting because, when I was I went to Bayview, Ohio with a mentor. Her name's Sunbreeze, and I was I was learning Reiki at the time. I was connecting into the energy fields, and we were walking around Bayview, Ohio, and we were drumming, right? We were just drumming and talking and getting into our own rhythms and beats, right? And Woodpecker, it's funny because Woodpecker had been all around that weekend, like getting into our own rhythm and beat, right? Mm. And so we're just bringing the energy prep for the work. And as they're big blocks in Bayview, Ohio, it's big blocks. We're not like talking little town blocks. There's big blocks. And so we're walking, and there was a blue jay feather here. And then 2 blocks later, there was a dove feather, and then another 2 or 3 blue jay feathers. So we were talking like a span of 20 blocks. I was gifted 7 blue jay feathers and 4 mourning dove feathers as my initiation into Reiki Master. Mm. And at the time, it made no sense to me. No sense to me. I was like, I know this is purposeful, and I know I'm going to be taught, and I'm going to unfurl into my life with this. And I can't tell you how important it has been to learn 2-footed walks, masculine, feminine. The masculine principle of the blue jay, the feminine principle of the mourning dove. The messages that have been brought to me through animals have been profound, and I sit in just in immense gratitude to the elementals that come into our world to communicate and to mirror to us the highest selves of us. Like, it's all here. It's all here for us. Signs, guideposts, like traveling companions. I don't know who needed to hear that. I felt that intuitively.
You're reading my mind. I was like, oh, this is for someone. It's for everyone. And yet
very for everyone, and yet specifically for someone. So somebody has spirit guides and animal guides that want their attention.
Yeah. Here we go.
There's
a for you, friend, whoever that was for. There's for you.
Walk unapologetically in your authenticity, my friends. Unapologetically. Do not compromise. Those days are over. Yeah. It's so incredibly beautiful to watch somebody go from this point in their trajectory to unfurling into this point. There is nothing more beautiful than to show up and be that person, as well as to be that person for somebody else too. It is just where we're at right now. We are crossing a bridge into the threshold of this space of light and time. And we all are, it's so important we all show up right now.
You're all blooming, every one of you. I always see the peonies or poppies, like just when you think it can't bloom more, it's at full bloom. But wait, there's more.
There's more.
It blooms.
I think it's Siddhartha, right? Be the more that you are. I fell in love with her when she said that. Like, be the more that you are. Boundless, and just, I was just like, yeah, that's it right there. Yeah.
Nancy, tell us a little bit about, you mentioned 2027.
Yes.
When you tap into that, what do you see, feel, sense, hear on our?
I love that you brought feel and sense into that.
I'll lead with feel, and yet I wanted to enter that gently.
Yes.
For me, I'll start there. It's like, what do you feel?
Yes. So there's been transmutations in our chakra system, okay? And in the late 1800s, our heart center went from we went from a 7-centered being to a 9-centered being, cognitively and with consciousness. That is not saying that there isn't more, be the more, right? However, where we're at, so our heart centers went into this expansion, and it transformed into the G center and the will center. Okay. And each one of those centers, even though they are a composite of the heart center, they split into these separate intelligences. Okay. And so the G center is about love and it's about direction.
Mm-hmm.
And the will center is about allocation of resources. It's about your willpower to move. So it's the will, right? The gallbladder is within this center, the gall to be who you are.
Oh, that's great.
Right? I love that. The gall.
That's great.
Yeah. And so we've actualized that. So 2027, what is happening is we had the sacral center, right? And then we have the emotional solar plexus center, which if you're looking at the chart is on the right-hand side, okay? And so what we're doing is moving. We're bringing that active and online. In simple terms, it's becoming fully activated and it's coming online. So that's the creative principle centers. Your sacral is all about energy. It's life energy, life force energy. And moving into the emotional solar plexus, our emotional body has not been fully activated and online yet, which is why a lot of people are very disconnected from emotions. Like, even though they're running amok and awry, we're not cognitively connected to the creative principle of energy and motion and becoming sovereign beings able to steer our ships. We're all aliens in these spaceships, right? And we're learning how to cognitively, with intention and sovereignty, steer our ships into the light, like and harness the light and use it to intentionally bring new systems into the world. And so that's what's projected for 2027 as these systems are coming online. And that's when we walk into an activated emotional body and being able to bring in energy and motion with sovereignty and intention and clarity. And yeah, super exciting, right? Like super exciting. And me, I'm an emotional being. So a lot of my chart is about this time that's coming up. And it's interesting to me because I'm 53 years old and it's been 53 years in the making for me to realize that the divine timing for who I am is coming. It's coming. It's always been here. It's always here. But the divine timing isn't being activated to be able to fully in full abundance and faith and power. I'm here to open that. I'm here to open that. And each one of you listening is here to do a very important, distinct, unique piece of all of this. Every one of us. Every one of us. Yeah. We're in magnificent times. Yes, we got to go through. So Karen talks about the phases of transformation. And she has these phases where we're in disruption, and then we move into the liminal, and then we move into the here now. And even though right now, if you look, it appears like we're in disruption, right? Which we are. And moving with the liminal, because we're learning how to create with the invisible and be in the liminal spaces to bring that into the here now, to bring it into form here now. We are here now, bringing it in formation. And so it's super important. Like, I'm super excited. If you have any interest in human design, we are in for a treat. I am so glad that Karen was able to make the time to come onto the platform and meet everybody. She's going to be in New York in May at the Omega Center in Rhinebeck, New York. And I'm just super excited that she's come to our side of the country. I'm super excited because she just has this wealth of information in a way of helping you to connect into your own unique centers. That's just been instrumental to me. So I don't mean to like whoop whoop, but
Oh,
she's
it's incredible. It's one of the and so friends, I just, in case you're new to this space and these Coffee with the Collective morning chats, in the comments you'll see a link to join the free Divinate platform, where there's oodles of incredible free offerings. Laura's here weekly. She offers a free shadow work chat. Kaya Usher every morning at 9:30 does daily activations. Loy is in on alternating Mondays with magical mindful Mondays. So there's great stuff on the free side. And for $18 a month, if you want to join the paid membership side, again, the contributions for that help us to keep the platform going, because there's no platform this intricate that's free, and B, we're really moving in the direction of wanting to create a full-on university for anyone that wishes to go through a process of receiving a degree in metaphysics and the quantum. So that's all coming. So just know that's what your contributions support. That said, on the 22nd, Karen and Nan will be in the paid membership. And if you join paid membership, you have access to all the replays of everything. It's really a rich archive currently.
Yeah.
And so Nan and Karen will be in the paid side on the 22nd. And it's going to be an amazing conversation.
Yep. We are also going to be on the 26th with Laura here for coffee time.
Fantastic. Oh, of February
26th.
Yep. Okay, so it'll be on the in membership on the 22nd, and then on the podcast on the 26th.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yep. Yep.
Perfect.
I'm hoping Karen and I haven't discussed this yet, but I'm sure she will. Just saying. If you guys go on to the sites like we had mentioned, any of the sites that give you free charts, Genetic Matrix, Jovian Archive, Body Graph, I'm sure that Karen and I would be very happy to randomly pick one or two people to touch upon some of the parts of the chart and really just unravel it. Karen's a master. I am a greenback, just saying. I don't downplay that. My role really is introductory. My role is to help somebody at a very basic beginner level, look at the chart, get it, be able to give them enough information. And then I'm a tribal person, so I love being able to give resources to people to be able to go to the next level and the next level. And that's my favorite thing to do, is to welcome somebody and then pass them to somebody within the tribe. So when I say that, it's not like a negating thing for myself. It's my differentiation. I love it. I love hosting. I love hey, I've got these resources. Let me connect you to this person. Oh, let's connect to that person. And I just love it. And Karen just can take a chart, because she's been in it for so long, take a chart and just make it look like it's Sunday dinner.
Oh no, this is incredible. And Christopher's going to put in the chat momentarily how to, if anyone here feels a resonance and a call or a pull to connect with Nan one-on-one, he will share this link, or I can. I'm there we go. That's how to connect with Nan's Divinate practitioner profile. And that links to Nan's website and all the things.
Yep.
Anything else in closing, Nan, that you're present to, that wants to come through you? Nan is also an incredible intuitive and medium and channeler, and really a remarkable healer and guide. So I'm so grateful that I get to be in this life and travel with you and with everyone here.
Yeah. I do want to connect. I
Christopher,
know that whoops, sorry.
hold on, Christopher. I see Patty saying the link is going to an error page. Christopher, can you check the link? Thank you, Patty, for letting us know, and we'll.
Yeah, thank you, Patty.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's okay, because I'm learning. I'm relying heavily on Christopher's beautiful guru knowledge. I can read like there's nobody's business, but ask me to post a link, and we're in shark infested waters there.
He fixed it. It's okay. So check it out, friends. Make sure.
Yeah.
Closing.
I do, Daniela. There's been somebody that's been very present for me through this whole conversation, and I just want to touch upon it for just a second. Whoever is listening, if and is present, I totally sense that you're going through something right now, like going through something. If blue means something to you, if 2 cats and 3 dogs pertain to you, then please reach out to me. And this isn't a shameless plug. I'm just hearing that we need to talk. And that's because you're going through something. And I would like to help you, like, really get you through it. Nothing's too heavy that can't be worked through. As long as you can be vulnerable and talk about it, because it's in the talking of it, about it, that brings it to light, and then it can just dissipate back into the light. So whoever that is, reach out to whoever you need to. I'm here. I'm always here. I always listen.
Oh, Nan, thank you. And that could be someone watching on now or on replay, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's been spoken.
Yeah.
So
thank you, Patty.
Oh, Nan, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for incarnating right here, right now.
Yes.
The world was so happy when you arrived.
Right?
When we all
and there.
Friends, I'm sure those of you here can just feel I always feel present to this when I go into meditation and I connect with the world and humanity and all the timelines. The joy that I feel of the ancestors and of nature and of consciousness behind us feels so joyous and happy and celebratory and supportive. Like, just the space goes on and like it's like there's no end to the joy and the delight of those that have our back. I hope you feel it. I could see it. I always feel that at my back.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll feel a gentle right down the middle of your back.
Right down it.
Sweet hand. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we wish you all a beautiful day. If you're here live on replay, thank you for joining us this morning. Nan, thank you so much. We're so excited to connect with you and Karen on the 22nd, in Divinate on the 26th on Laura's podcast. Friends, you have Nan's link if you'd like to connect with her one-on-one. And we thank you.
Have a fantastic Saturday.
Thank you, everyone. We love you. Thank you. Bye-bye.